folks, Draven here. You just missed Luna. She was sitting next to me and now she's just disappeared. As soon as I go live, she disappeared. Right, we are back with some first looks. I have 3 lined up. I shall see how I get on. I am working today, so I have restricted time. It being 6:15 in the morning here. I usually start at 7:30, but my start time is a bit more flexible today. So, right. First one we are going to look at is the Demon Lord is new in town. It's a resource management adventure game. Play as Van, a demon lord who has had his power sealed and has been banished to the world of mortals. Make friends and work towards repairing your former glory. This came out last month, 25th of January 2022, developed by Diatrobe Institute. I apologise if I've mispronounced that. But published by Kagura Games, and it was Jake at Kagura Games that has very kindly sent me a game key. So thank you to Jake, much appreciated. As usual, doesn't affect any of my opinions I expressed during this video since they are my own. Right, let us load it up and give it a go. It's only Baron coming back in, Luna. Right, let me get this full screen. We're on 4:3 ratio. Let's just get a bit of paper quick without making too much racket from things falling about on my desk. Alright. Okay, everything looking good to go. Let's just have a quick look in options. That's okay. I like the fact you can vary the music level depending on what's happening. We shall leave the text on 4. I presume we have to. Oh, right, cool. But they don't have my resolution. Right, so let's go with that one. Full screen. Weird they don't have 1920 by 1080. Never mind. Right. Okay, new game. Let's say this is a blind first look, as usual. I only load them up to make sure they run, but I don't actually play them. Curse you, the wretched human. My head. Lord Gitara, are you awake? What? Who is this? You mean to say you've forgotten me? It can't be. What's going on? Who is Gitara? My head is killing me. No, and I thought it had gone so well. I hope this is only temporary. Months later. So this is Van. This is who we shall be playing. Whoa, this place is way different from the capital. Look, there's both humans and beast folk. Oh, is that an elf? What do you think? Ira? Era? Excuse me. Seen so many different species living side by side made for an exciting sight in the capital where I'd been living. It had been basically nothing but humans. Okay, so that's Arya. I like the outfits. Wish I could draw like that. He's got no eyes. Where's his eyes? Are they in shade? Please, my lord, you're acting like a child. You're going to draw attention to us. Okay, so we're going to get the conversations like this. Sure, a city of adventures. It's my first time here as well. As the home of this country's Adventurers Guild, you'll find all manner of species coexisting here. Of course, that also means it also draws out a great many hot-blooded types. I've heard it's the source of much conflict. Matter of fact, as usual, the demon folk girl always had a coldness to her. I expect nothing less of my attendant. You sure seem to know your stuff. It's more a matter of how much you've forgotten. Honestly, try to have a little more consideration for me. I ask that you hurry and recover your memories, my lord. I'd lost all memory of my past, as far as the royals were concerned. It was because I, a royal knight, had lost my memories in a life-or-death struggle with the demon lord Gitara. To think you fell to that human Van's cowardly trap, and were bested in combat. Well, nearly bested. Stealing his body before yours could be completely destroyed was a masterstroke, my lord. I mean, can you even really call that winning, though? Still, your memory should have gotten transferred over along with your consciousness. For you to forget, I suppose the soul of transference must have been flawed. As your faithful attendant, it was quite the shock. Long story short, it was basically the demon lord in a knight's body. So when Era said she wanted me to recover my memories, she meant my memories as demon lord. With my memories gone, I no longer had a reason to remain a royal knight. I ended up being out of the capital and ended up in the adventure city of Shuya. We've arrived, my lord. This inn will be acting as our current headquarters. Oh, so this is the new castle of the demon lord, eh? Only one bed. Very nice. Yeah, pretty dusty. That's not as nice. I shall clean later. Had a lowly human not gotten the best of you, we might be settled in the royal palace at this very moment. Ah, but lamenting past losses accomplishes nothing. We must look towards the future. The royal knight Van being demoted and end up here is all with an expectation. Now you do recall what we'll be doing in this town, correct? Remind me. It would seem you had little more memory than a chicken. Here, little chicken, come get your feet. Hey, don't you treat your master like an animal. It was a joke. There are demon nuts. These are demon nuts which will help return the power you lost as demon lord. Ira, I know what demon nuts are. They improve your vitality when you eat them, and can make humans more like town demon folk. But with all the potential side effects, including death, they're banned in the capital. She'd been forcing me to eat the things daily. What do these do? Even with a frail body like yours, you won't die unless you consume them all at once. You must eat them if you're to regain your true powers as demon lord. With the demon you're housing in that soft little body, you'll grow closer and closer to a true demon folk, which will surely restore your memories. Housed in a lowly human with no mana to speak of and no memory, how absolutely unsightly you are. You're like a gangly chicken. I can hardly bear to look upon you. More grumbling from Era. It sure didn't seem like the girl was my servant with the way she was bad-mouthing me. Allow me to explain our present situation. First, I must inform you that we're down to our last 2 demon nuts. Oh no. As I'll be having you eat one each day, assuming we have any, we'll very soon be out. You'll need to secure more as soon as possible. Come on, with all the demon nuts you've made me eat so far, I've got to have a pretty beastly demon brewing inside of me by now, right? No, I'm afraid not. Let me see. If I were to assign the demon with you a number rating, it would be a 0. It's a measly thing at present, a hairless little caterpillar. We are level 1. I'll just check something here. Okay. What you've eaten on the journey thus far did nothing more than lay the foundation to allow your weedy little body to house a demon. You'll need to eat far, far more than that. Now, can you finally recall what it is you were doing here? Yeah, I get it. We're almost out of demon nuts, so get more. But do you really think we can even find someone who sells them? Well, it's true that the demon nuts can only be secured through limited channels. This city swirls with greed. It will surely be trivial to find a supplier. I need to procure. Is that how much food we've got? I don't know. But we need to procure them. Of course, they're scarce and therefore expensive. We'll need substantial funds. Oh yeah, but there's a ton of money to be made in this town, right? Well, it would seem your memory is finally returning. Might I recommend a diary going forward to take the strain off that bird brain of yours? Nah, as long as I've got someone brilliant like you around, I don't need one. How are we doing anyway, cash-wise? Pains me to say it, but we are destitute. After living expenses, we're down to 100 gold. By my estimations, that would only buy us approximately 3 demon nuts. 3, all that money and we only have enough for 3 days. My lord, raise both hands for me and raise 3 fingers. On one, and 2, and on the other. The 3 we can buy, plus the 2 we have now. Put them together, see, it's 5. Is she treating me like a little kid? The Adventurers Guild here is perfect for getting rich quick. With the letter of recommendation you received from the palace, enrolling there should be no trouble. Alright, speaking of which, I've got a letter for the Lord of Shuria too, right? Which means the options presently available to us are: search the black market for demon nuts, head for the Adventurers Guild, or go to greet the Lord of Shuria. I could just spend the day here talking to you too. I must decline, your feeble body can only manage so much in one day, so I ask that you be prudent in considering how you spend your time. Okay, so we have hidden under my widgets. We've got level 1, we've got how many demon nuts we've got how much gold we've got at 100, and we've got 6 out of 6. Running around in a human body making money like a human, not much of a demon lord when you think about it. Powerless as you presently are, this is the quickest route to recovery, but remember, you are the demon lord, and engrave it deeply in your mind. Change begins from within. Got it. It's the demon lord. Sorry, I am the demon lord. I am the demon lord. I am the demon lord. I can feel it. Power is bursting inside of me. Yes, my lord. Marvellously stupid as ever. With our plan hammered out, our familiar suddenly popped out from behind Arya. Okay, we've got familiar. It's called Dora, and it's not Dora the Explorer. Key. Dora shouldn't be mistaken for a monster in this town either. There shouldn't be any need to hide him. Kiki. Little Dora laments the state my lord finds himself in as well. He's also insisting rather aggressively that you not get distracted. Dora the familiar that was waiting for us when we left the palace. I was supposed to be the demon lord, but it seemed more attached to Arya. I'm just going to call it Arya. I don't know. It's probably Era. Oh, come on, Era. I don't get distracted that easily. When I eat those nuts, I get all this energy I gotta work out. I have little interest in your problems. Our goal at this time is to ensure you grow accustomed to the demon within and regain your memory. I knew it. But you're supposed to be my attendant. Yes, my lord. I await the moment with bated breath. I think we're a long way off from her accepting me. Okay, so Ava's procure ability is now available. This command allows her to buy demon nuts. Demon nuts are used as the day changes, and each time a certain amount is accumulated, your demon level increases. The higher your demon level, the stronger Van becomes. We've got a lot of stuff on the interface. So talking takes up 1. Procure also takes up 2 plus 50 gold. Bonding is currently locked. I've got go to next day under here. And we've got our relationship with Era. We've got equipment. We don't have any. How do I get out of there? Oh, X, right. We've got the menu. We shall save it there. We have a hint. Ooh. Can I click on that? No. So we can go to town. So that means we can only carry 6, and we've got our... We've got 2 demon nuts, okay. Let's go procure more demon nuts. Okay, we got them. We could go get more. For 2. Let's go talk. Good morning, my lord. Here's today's food. Okay, that used that 1. Let's go to town. Sorry. Don't talk to her. That uses up food. Right, we need to go to the Lord's mansion. Whoa, this is some place. Guess that's what you should expect from the noble class. They must be rolling in it. It pales in comparison to your castle, my lord. My old castle, which was apparently under new management at the moment. My lord, I ask you keep your memory loss a secret. Yeah, I know. The jacks at the palace who drove me out of town said the same thing. That's because they are trying to present you as an outstanding talent. They would like to hide the fact you are a washout with memory problems. Just remember, if you can't recall something, pretend it's confidential. Act in haste and you'll draw suspicion. Good reminder, Era. That one had slipped my mind. While Era and I headed inside the estate to give the local lord my letter of recommendation, Dora went back to sleep to keep tabs on the inn. Guards, a mix of humans, beastfolk and more, swarmed us, but once I handed over the letter, their suspicion faded and they led us inside. This is the official letter from the palace, to be sure. We've been eagerly awaiting your arrival, Sir Van. Allow this old man the pleasure of showing you the estate. Our kitties. Hey, a royal knight and a little princess. Hey there, you can call me Alcides. I'm the one of the knights here. How about coming with me and I can show you the training grounds? With that, a massive, loudmouthed human brought us to the expansive training grounds, where combat drills were carried out. Even here at the Lord's estate, humans and beastfolk seem to work together. We get all sorts of stories about you royal knights. Is it true you took down an evil dragon? Oh, and of course, we heard about you taking on some pain-in-the-arse demonfolk king, single-handed to boot. Haha, terribly sorry. But I can't really discuss palace matters. Confidential, I'm sure you understand. Ah, of course. With all those big shots love hiding every little thing. Oh, I'm not talking about you, of course. You know, I've heard you've got a pretty mean sword arm. As a man of the battlefield, I'd love it if we could have ourselves a little duel. Oh no, I don't think that's necessary at all. The brute in front of me fixed me with a dead serious stare. It felt like his sword would descend on me at any moment, and then it did. Sparks flew before my eyes, in time with the sound of a furious clash of metal. My blade had met his. I was surprised by Alcide's sudden attack. I was equally surprised by my body's instantaneous reaction. And then, I was even more surprised by my ability to coolly analyse the fact. I guess that's what they call mastery. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Era roared at the man before I even had a chance to. It seemed she'd already dropped into battle-ready stance as well. Whoa, stand back, princess. Don't go interrupting a duel between men. Haha, nothing to worry about, Era. Just back off. This body's reached a state of unconscious mastery. This is amazing. I'm so fast. I can move so well. Look at my body. Move. What? This brute's actually pretty good with a sword. He wasn't holding back at all when he swung at me either. Well, if you get hurt, it's your own fault. I think it's time you witnessed a demon lord's power. Suddenly, all sides was driven back with a thunderous roar and sharp impact. Whoa, all sides, are you alright? There's some princess you've got with you. Yeah, I'm alright, Van. The roar and sudden impact had been, as it turned out, from a spell Era had cast at the man's feet. I hadn't been able to show him a demon lord's power. Not like I could use a demon lord's power in the first place. Ah, you royal knights are the real deal, though. A joker like me's got no chance against you. What exactly was your intention? Answer me wisely. Your life depends on it. Whoa, Era. Cool it with the scary talk. Sorry about that. I just thought I'd give you a little interview, sort of a practical skills exam. I'm what's called a headhunter, someone who can accurately measure somebody's combat abilities. You call that an interview? You were coming at me like you were trying to kill me. Let us kill him, Lord. Ava, having composed herself, spoke with a cool, almost disinterested voice. She had returned to her typical glower, leaving her impossible to read. I just want to get a feel for what you royal knights are like. I wasn't trying to kill you or anything. I'm the best headhunter in town. I know exactly how strong each and every soldier on this state is, right off the top of my head. Now I've got a read on what you're capable of, and let me tell you, Van, you pass, so you're going to serve as a knight for us. I was bewildered by his sudden offer. Meanwhile, other soldiers, drawn by the boom of Era's magic, had begun to gather. All sides, what the hell happened? Who are they? This is our boy Van, a knight who's come all the way from the palace to visit us, and that's the girlie he brought with him. He just finished passing the practical skills exam, matter of fact. He's seriously a royal knight, and he passed the skills test. You should have done it in front of everyone, though. I wanted to see what a real deal royal knight is like. Me too, test him again. There's a lot of reading. Nah, sorry boys, you'll never be able to get a good feel for how strong he is, doing it all with formal like that. The test had to be live and raw, and I'll tell you, the result was some swordsmanship none of us can live with. What? How strong can this guy be if even you got that far? He can't be stronger than the master. I don't know, he just might be. What? Why the hell would you test him all by yourself then? Come on, do it again. Ava furrowed her brows and looked at me with a humourless expression. What was her problem? Did she not like all the bustle? I myself was in a perfectly good mood thanks to the extensive praise. I see little to smile about, my lord. Not only did they raise a blade against you, but now they seem absolutely excited about it. Hey, it's no big deal. Besides, you shouldn't have butted in. A little longer and I would have been able to show off my true power. Who's this? And then, right in front of me, was a golden-haired angel. I was captivated. Maybe I died during that fight. Why, an angel right in front of me. This is the famed royal knight? He certainly doesn't look more skilled than Master Seek. Lady Liz, I didn't know you'd graced us with your presence. This is perfect. I was just about to get our boy Van here some tea. Hold on a moment. Greetings, I'm Elizabeth. You must be the Royal Knight Van. If our headhunter proves, he must be strong indeed. You'll find I'm the most powerfully beautiful knight in the city. Shall we cross swords? With that, she offered me a wooden sword designed for fencing contests. Wait, back up. Did she just call herself beautiful? No, your ladyship, you can't. You mustn't. He's right. We can't have a guest from the palace getting hurt because of you. He's not a guest any longer, is he? He's here to be employed by the estate, is he not? Well then, I'd be more than happy to witness his sword arm myself. But your ladyship, what's going to happen if you crush him and break his spirit as a knight? Whoa, what? Is this angel really that tough? Let us away, my lord. We can't be leaving lifelong scars on delicate little ladies like her. Aha. I can't let that little remark pass. You want to explain what you meant by that? I meant precisely what I said. Do you truly think you're a match for a former royal knight like him? You're related to the lord of this estate, am I right? He has no interest in angering his new employer by sending you to the infirmary, therefore he won't be fighting. It's like you're specifically trying to stir her up. What are you even thinking, Era? What a fool. You've gone and thrown the gauntlet. Ready yourself, Van. Wooden sword or not, you could lose your life here if you're careless. Step back. Anyone who interrupts this duel will find themselves working the coming months without pay. Sorry, I just got a message in. Okay. The scene grew still. The bystanders were suddenly studying the ground with fierce interest. I seriously found myself on the opposite end of our duel. What the hell were you trying to do, Era? Was she mad about me making goo eyes at her? Was she actually jealous? Did that mean she actually had a cute side to her? The angel readied a sword and the nearby soldiers folded their hands in prayer. It almost looked like some kind of ritual. How about you? True to her word, the angelic Elizabeth brought her sword against me. The sharp clock of wood resounded as my own sword rose to meet it. Yep, I knew it. Lady Liz is just too strong. What the hell? What lovely technique. Nobody can stand up to that. What actual hell? Just try not to get her hurt, Van. Something the matter? No. No need to say it. I can already tell. You have your hands full just trying to keep your guard up. She can't be. She can't seriously be this clumsy. It's gorgeous to look at, sure, but her swordplay is absolutely garbage. She's so weak. How is she this weak? If all sides was a gorilla, this girl's a mouse. A weak, toothless little mouse. It's all over. Not even a royal knight can deal with swordplay like that. Somebody stop her. And then I caught sight of something, an expression of distress, but not from the fluttering angel before me. It was on the faces of the soldiers around us, expressions of agony, like they were praying for a miracle. It was like they were just acting like she was the strongest knight around, and suddenly things started to add up to me. This toothless little mouse really believed she was the toughest, and all the guys around us were trying to turn that fantasy into reality. This really is some kind of cult. I guess Era had already caught on. She was the one who'd instigated this whole duel. Looks like raw nuts aren't all they're cracked up to be. Era was watching me and shaking her head. What's that? Go along with the soldiers and take a fall? Just leave it to me. Oh crap, my body just... I hadn't even thought about it. My sword had just sent the fluttering angel flying. Her sword seemed to hang in there, dancing lazy circles. Lady Liz! I didn't see what happened. Was her ladyship's swordplay so incredible that her own sword went flying? That was too close. If I kept up like that, Sir Van might have been killed. Shut up, all of you. Get away from me. The soldiers crowded around Elizabeth, who was boiling with anger and frustration. Era meanwhile approached me. She looked like she was about to tear into me for sending the little lady flying. Please, not the scary eyes. I'm sorry. Too far, you absolutely simpleton. Come, let's leave this place before this turns into trouble. I decided I'd give the crowded soldiers a quick goodbye and try to make an exit. Well, we've got a big day, so we'll just be heading out. See ya. Wait, stop right there. You and I aren't done. Van, you're really going to run for me? You'll be back, won't you? Look, he's so afraid of Lady Liz's power, he's running away. Only her ladyship could send a royal knight running for the hills. Lady Liz is number one. I haven't experienced just how weak she was firsthand. It just sounded like they were antagonizing her. I really wanted to talk to the angelic Elizabeth more, but Era dragged me out of the place. There's so much reading. Era, I promise I was planning on taking a fall, but my body just seemed to knock her sword away on its own. On that note, not to brag, but I've got some serious reflexes. How am I so strong? Even to base as you presently are, you are the Demon Lord. Strength is a given, and I'll ask you to spare me the excuses. Come on, don't be mad. In ideal circumstances, we would have been able to blend in and gather information on the estate. She was saying stuff like, don't run away and come at me, right? Couldn't we have stayed there and talked things out? Being defeated by you riled her up. Despite her weakness, she has considerable confidence. By quitting the place when we did, the results of the match were left unclear. We should hope now that her overconfidence leads her to believe the bout was one big mistake. I ask that should we meet her again, you make absolutely sure that you lose. Of course, it's possible we may never be allowed near her again. Yep, definitely pouting. So why did she want us to run? She didn't trust me with things, not to mention what was her attitude towards the girl. More importantly, you're the one who got her all bent out of shape. Were you mad at me because I was fawning over her? That explains why you're pouting more than usual. Sorry, I guess I didn't apologise for that one. Excuse me? Why would I be upset about that? What, am I wrong? Then why did you antagonise her so much? It was because you were jealous, right? The soldiers were acting strange, so I simply spoke in the hope of finding some answers. I hardly expected to witness such a farce. And if I may, you're not the demon lord I once knew. I assure you I harbour no feelings of jealousy. My attendant certainly had a keen sense for details. Of course, considering that, I wish she'd be a little more considerate of my feelings. Let us retire to the inn for now. I'm sure little Dora is simply famished. We're back, Dora. Were you good while we were gone? Because Era was definitely not. Oh, I know. How about you go for a walk outside? I'll just inform you now, I'm not be sharing the bed with you. I'll be sleeping on the floor with darling little Dora. Please, my lord, enjoy that comfy-looking bed all by yourself. Well, if you're going to be nasty about it, then I'll sleep on the floor too. You would force me to sleep in the bed? Well, if you insist. Lucky us, Dora. We must be thankful we have such a magnanimous lord. Ah, where are you going? I sprinted out of the inn. The sun was already falling, but the city was still bustling with people. Before I knew it, I'd run out of the city centre and into somewhere more tranquil. I'd somehow found myself at a church. I could hear a bell sound as I entered. A woman was seated at the altar in the back, dressed in her priest's garments. She was dainty, and it looked like she'd been asleep until just then. She looked at me with tired, heavy-lidded eyes. Evening. Good evening. Don't mind me, please. Go about your worship. Is a girl like you really the priest here? So if I was troubled, you'd listen to me? You stink. Sorry, I guess I worked up a sweat. No, that wasn't what I... Well, if you'd like to talk, let us do so over there. The adorable princess led me to a confessional, but I just wanted someone to hear me out. I wasn't looking to repent my sins or anything. The confessional was designed to hide the sinner and the listener from each other. The priestess began to speak to me from the other side of the wall. Gee whiz. At the moment, there's not much gameplay. It's all just story. So she's Emma. I'm Emma, and I serve as priestess of this church. Trust in the mercy of God the Father, and confess your sins. You can call me Van, okay? So this might seem like a lot, but I'm having some trouble with a partner of mine. She's real cute like you, and I have a huge crush on her. Whenever I ask her if we can date, she just shuts me down hard. She's fallen asleep. We just got here after a long trip from the capital. I've been trying to tell her how I feel, but she seems to be avoiding talking to me. All my issues with Era, all my stupid acts, even my attraction to my adorable confessor, I ended up confessing everything. I noticed a sign that said, when finished confessing, please ring bell. I wondered if that was the bell that I'd heard when I'd come in. The Lord shall grant you peace and forgiveness. The church in His service absolves you of all your sins. So she fell asleep and didn't bother listening, did she? You were sleeping, weren't you? No, I wasn't. There was a yawn in her voice as she denied the accusation. I was pretty sure lying in front of God was supposed to be a sin. Hey, are you awake? All right. Wake up, Emma. Oh, honey, are you okay? I'm not sleeping. Go ahead, confess. I've already finished confessing. I feel much better. Are you sure you're not falling asleep? Do you need to check in on you? Sounds good. What a half-assed answer, some priest. I'm coming over. The Lord's forgiveness knows no bounds. Sounds like she was falling asleep again. I'm just going to slip out of here and move over to Emma's room to check on her. It won't open. It seemed like the door to the side Emma was on was locked. I tried with all my might to force the thing open, but the solid door didn't even budge. And then I felt someone's hand clap my shoulder. As I turned around, I found myself facing a priest even bigger than Alcides. Is something the matter? Something in the massive priest's cold tone and grave expression was overpowering. I desperately attempted to talk my way out of it, saying Emma wasn't responding and I was worried. You finished confessing, right? Yeah, I suppose. I'm terribly sorry, but it would seem Emma is quite tired. It's getting very late, so I will need to be locking the doors. I'm sure you understand. Between his emotionless expression and his polite way of speaking, which was completely at odds with his immense size, I was completely cowed. I ended up leaving. With nowhere else to go, I found myself back at the inn. Where were you? You had me worried. Liar. If you were really worried, you wouldn't be sitting around here. You'd be out looking for me. I was really kind of hoping I'd come back to an empty inn because you were out there looking for me too. Considering your cryptic manner of departure, I wouldn't know the first place to look in a massive town like this. I would certainly have begun looking in earnest after another 2 days or so. Really? You'd get worried and come looking? Don't look so happy about it. I certainly do not think of not coming back in the hopes of testing me. Were I not loyal to you, I would never be trying to help you recover your power in the first place. Can we get to do something? Right, maybe we should just procure these other 2 things here. I keep missing what that says, but I'll maybe pay more attention. It says to press, so I press, but I don't get to read the text. So that's all we can do there. I don't want to talk to her. We've no equipment. Okay, so I can swap between the 2. Emma's shop ability is now available. This command allows you to purchase potions. Potions can be used during quests. Era doesn't like the atmosphere of the church much, but it's a good idea to buy some before taking on a difficult quest. But she's sleeping. Shop. So I can't do that. I think what we'll do is we'll go to the next day. But we're going to lose one of them, aren't we? Because we could go to the Adventurers Guild. We've got the church there. Or we could go back to the inn. Let's check out the Adventurers Guild. Oh no. The Adventurers Guild HQ sure lives up to its name. There's tons of tough looking guys here. You truly think so? In your past form they would seem little more to you than harmless caterpillars. Muscle-bound beast folk like them, little caterpillars. Man, I must have been something else. I thought to myself, as things currently stood, it seemed like it would be faster to count the people who weren't stronger than me. As I stood in line for a reception, I uneasily wondered if I could even hack it in a place like this. But when it came my turn and I handed over the letter from the palace, I was overcome by an indescribable feeling. With this scrap of paper, a whole new life begins. Oh, a letter of recommendation. Wait, you're Van, the Great Knight. I must admit, I expected someone more refined and, well, muscular. Aha, so word's already spread from the palace. Well, I may not be refined or muscular, but I give it everything I've got. I'm sure as you were standing in line they were thinking, who is this meagre little insect? Look at the way he's glancing around. Surely he knows that this isn't the welfare office. I doubt a gorgeous receptionist like her is that cruel. Maybe that's what you were thinking. It's not every day a royal knight comes to enlist with the guild. I imagine you must have found yourself in some special circumstances. I see. Your companion there is demon folk, isn't she? Perhaps you fell in love and were driven from the capital. Well, you're not far off. To choose love over your station as a royal knight, I love it. I just know that the great Van is sure to be a big up-and-comer. Please do your best for the sake of love. You have? Mind tell me why you're so sure about it? Why? Oh, you're so modest. You can't be a Royal Knight unless you're an absolute master of combat, right? Ah, I see. Well, I'm a former Royal Knight at this point, you know. Have Royal Knights always been that amazing? I don't exactly have any real memory regarding that either. Well, this Van guy had the Demon Lord up against a wall, right? Had to be pretty skilled to do that. There's a great many quests here we can introduce you to that require combat abilities. I'm sure the Great Van will be an S-rank adventurer in no time. I eagerly await seeing you in action. I'll issue you your guild card, just a moment. The receptionist quickly produced guild cards for me and Aira. She explained they would serve as our ID, and after a quick explanation of guild procedures, gave us E-rank adventurer cards. With cards in hand, we moved straight from the counter to the notice board to see what quests were available. All that talk about the Great Van and all we can take our E-rank quests? Seems there's nothing but simple tasks available. Oh look here, reading. That's very much your speed. She's making fun of me again, isn't she? Well, just grab something efficient, would you? Alright, I'll fight tooth and nail to climb to the top. All in the name of love. Of course, my lord, leave it to me. You just fight tooth and nail to sati your ego under the pretense of love. Aira examined the notice board intently. Despite how she acted, she was cutie, who was trying her hardest all for me. It really wasn't a lie that I wanted to fight with everything I had for this girl. Hey, hey! Someone tugged at my sleeve. I said, hey! Look at that cutie. There was a short, dark elf tugging at my sleeve. She was gorgeous, outrageous, truly outrageous. I'm looking for a partner. Someone who can take up the front line. Could you help me out? Huh? This is sort of out of nowhere. Why me? You're that Royal Knight from the capital, right? I overheard your conversation. If you team up with me, I'll let you come on higher ranked quests. I thought we could only take E-rank quests, though. It's not a problem if we're simply accompanying her on quests she's taken. You were there with me for the explanation, were you not? So wait, if you're with a high-ranking adventurer, you can take on the high-rank quests. Talk about major loophole. There's a lot of different species living in the city, which means there's a lot of stuff going on. The rule here is, whatever you do at your own risk. If you get killed taking on a task you're not fit for, that's your own problem. It might seem a slapdash rule, but apparently there'd be little in it for a higher ranking adventurer, unless it was somehow convenient for them. Nobody would work with a lower ranking partner who might just end up getting in the way. You got it, but you guys already earned your stripes elsewhere, so how about it? Want to party up? I pretty much never see humans and demon folk grouping together, unless one of them's a slave or something. You two don't seem to have that sort of relationship, much less a romantic one. So I figure you've got your own situation you're dealing with, right? Sounds good, let's team up. You being so frickin' cute doesn't hurt either. Really? My demon folk attendant stared at me with absolute unbridled scorn, but I ignored that. I had a dark elf right in front of me, who was, as I said, frickin' cute. I'm Van, this is Aira, and you are? I'm Chocolate. Nice to meet you, Van and Aira. You can probably tell just by looking, but magic's my speciality. I'm an A-rank adventurer. Wait just a moment, if you would. But I don't want to wait a minute. I apologise, Chocolate. That was just a joke, a very bad joke. We haven't even heard what it is you're after. Furthermore, if you're looking for a frontline, surely there are plenty of other available partners. Why would you specifically ask someone only freshly enlisted in the guild? What do you mean a joke? Come on, let's join up. What is it precisely you have us do? Like I said, I need a front line. I'm searching for an Elden Grimoire. Thing is, everyone's all spooked about a curse on the thing, so the moment I mention it, nobody wants to group with me. Then why not just not mention it? This girl seems like kind of a ditz. And what's this curse about? An Elden Grimoire? That's not something you'll find searching haphazardly. I imagine you already have some guess as to where to find it. Sure do. But if you guys are going to join up with me, then the conversation that ends aren't going to join up. then the conversation ends there. Then I'm afraid we can't give you an answer at this time. That doesn't sound like a no. Well, I hope you'll keep it in mind. The lack of a yes didn't seem to disappoint the girl in the least. Based on appearances, it would seem you're more used to immediate refusals. Is this curse really that bad? Sorry, Chocolate. I'd love to team up with you, but this whole curse thing... There's no darn curse on the thing. Van, you stink like demon nuts. Are you trying to turn yourself into demon folk or something? I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, whatever. She'd caught me, but it seems like she doesn't care in the least. Demon nuts are seen as bad news in the capital, but I guess they're no big deal around here. If it's money you're after, I'm fine with splitting the quest rewards right down the middle, and if you want, I could find another way of rewarding you once I get my hands on the grimoire. Even splitting it down the middle, the rewards on high-ranked quests would make it way more efficient than doing a bunch of lower-ranked ones. It seemed like a win-win all round. Make it a three-way split. If we get 2/3 of the reward, we'll consider it. What's wrong with halves? There are 2 of us, and 1 of you. Splitting by thirds is the most logical decision. That's true. Alright, that's fair. Fair, my ass. That's Zara for you. Once she saw she wasn't dealing with a good negotiator, she absolutely flattened them. Well then, we'll return another time. We'll have an answer for you then. The heck? I thought we had a deal. What about us splitting things 3 ways? I said if you were willing to split it 3 ways, we'd consider it, nothing more. Oh, I see. Until we meet again then. Chocolate beamed a cheerful smile as we parted. God, she was cute. Air, on the other hand, was cold as iron. Made her look evil, but then I guess she was. Still cute though. Oh no. Air, shall we party with it, my lord? Well, that was fast. Hey wait, don't call her it. Dark elves are easily tainted by the dark, not to mention that airheadedness of hers ought to be of great use to us. Era was wearing one scary expression. She knew I was using demon nuts, but she didn't seem to care. Are they no big deal in this town? No, even here one needs to be careful about it. Frankly, I've never heard of a dark elf being able to sniff out a demon nut user. There's something special about her. She didn't seem bothered by it, and even if she were to spread the word, nobody would believe her. Era didn't seem to think we needed to worry about Chocolate knowing the truth about us. I couldn't help but feel like that was her way of secretly mocking the grimoire-seeking dits. That Elden Grimoire she was talking about, what's the deal with this curse stuff? It's a grimoire containing the power of an Elden sorcerer. Sorcerers are of old who, so the saying goes, made contracts with powerful ancient spirits. It's said their grimoires hold special powers. It's also said that anyone who uses one will be cursed. Sounds like trouble. As the girl said, the curse is a fairy tale. The books are so rare, their very existence is seen as a matter of myth and rumour. You could count the surviving grimoires on one hand. As the rumours have grown, it's led to embellishment and talk of curses. I know you know everything, but you seriously seem to know everything. How can you be so sure it's safe, though? Have you ever seen or used one? That's because actually there's a conversation for another day. We'll speak on the subject at some point. Until the Demon King is truly reborn, you'll just have to look forward to it. From the cruel expression she wore, it seemed like she really wanted to say was, so hurry up and be reborn. Besides, don't mistake me, the girl claimed to have a lead, but in all likelihood we won't be obtaining an Elden Grimoire. I suspect she gets turned down not out of any fear of a curse, but of wasted time and effort. Ah, gotcha. But we're still going to team up, right? I feel like we should have just started with yes in that case. She was a flatterer, eagerly wagging her tail, so I told her to sit, stay and think on the future. A master must enforce proper discipline. What, like she's a dog? I think you're being naive, Era. What's going to happen when she decides to team up with someone else while you're doing that? I conditioned her not to approach anyone else upon her parting. Surely you were listening. I was mostly just thinking about her cute face. We're going to get onto some action. Right, let's go to the next day. See what happens now? My lord, wake up! Huh? Get your arse up! Well, good morning to you, too. What's up? The inn is surrounded by soldiers. Their equipment matches the scene at the Shuan Lord's estate. I suspect they're in his employ. What's going on? Suddenly soldiers were bursting into the room without so much as a knock. You're the former Royal Knight Van, are you not? Please forgive the sudden intrusion, but we ask that you come with us. What, it's nothing bad? Our liege lord just wants to speak with you. About what? Please, just accompany us to the estate. Without any idea what was happening, Ira and I both were half dragged back to the Lord's mansion. We were led to a handsome reception room and seated on a comfy sofa. I doubted I'd be having any sudden duels in a place like this. A dignified old man sat across from us. I'm Sebastian, and I have the privilege of serving as butler of this estate. Sir Van laid Ira my gratitude for willingly visiting so early in the morning. If you want to call being dragged willingly. Now I have an earnest request. I heard about your duel with Lady Elizabeth yesterday. What did you think of her ladyship's technique? I mean, no matter how you look at it, she's one of the worst fighters I've ever seen. That much is obvious. So what's he getting at? Well, yeah, even as a royal knight, I had a hard time keeping up. I happened to have a stroke of luck and deflected her sword, but in terms of ability, she had me completely overwhelmed. Yes, as you said, she's dreadfully weak. You're going deaf, old man. I trust you'll keep this discussion a secret. While all the men know that her ladyship is weak, they pretend to be inferior with a blade. All but one person, the swordmaster responsible for the instruction of the state's soldiers, Master Sieg. Her ladyship also believes that Master Sieg is the only one who can best her at this point. In truth, she is no match for any of our men. Some days before you came, though, Master Sieg collapsed from an unknown illness. His condition was serious for some time, but luckily he survived. However, the doctor says it is unlikely he will ever return to service. We may never see him swing a sword again. Oh wow, I'm sorry, I guess I picked a bad time to show up. Therefore, may I humbly entreat you to take up Lady Elizabeth's training in this place? Happy to. I answered immediately without even thinking. Even Sebastian was shocked into silence. You would take her on? I find this perplexing. Why ask Van? Who cares why? The guy's in trouble, so let's help him out, yeah? I really wanted to see Lady Elizabeth again. A good question, and since you are willing to take this on, I would be happy to share that with you. I suspect that whatever caused Master Sieg's collapse was orchestrated by someone. Assuming that is the case, it shames me to say, but I fear there's a good chance that an enemy has infiltrated our ranks. He never lets down his guard except with those in our employ. If it were an outsider's work, he'd have seen through it. As you've been recommended by the palace, we can trust you. We also took the liberty of looking into you, just to be sure, but the investigation confirmed you've never had a chance to meet with Master Sieg. If that's the case, then you have my assent. If we should uncover the identity of this infiltrator, we will certainly inform you. Oh, that's a great help indeed. Thank you very much, Miss. As for you, Sir Van, there will be no need to pretend to lose. I'd like you to act as the only person stronger than her ladyship. However, you must never let her know she is the weakest fighter on the estate. Her ladyship is a beautifully powerful knight. Consider that to be a matter of absolute etiquette here. What's with the big need to have her ladyship believe she's that powerful? It was the master's idea. Our liege adores her and wishes to make her every wish come true. Since the time she was very young, her ladyship has been enamoured with powerful and noble knights. I suppose that is where all the tragedy began. Seems like more of a comedy to me. These people are all too much. I'm deeply appreciative you would take this duty on, Sir Van. We are all in your hands. The butler escorted us out of the reception room. A seriously powerful-looking man was standing on alert outside the door. This is Balmung. I had told him there was no need for him to protect me, but alas... Sorry, Sebastian, but I was worried. If something happened to you, the master would be heartbroken when he returns. Were you able to come to a resolution? Indeed, this is Sir Van, a former royal knight, and his companion, Lady Ira. After the butler introduced us, the man reached out his rugged battle-worn hand for a handshake. Greetings, Sir Van, Lady Era. My name is Balmung, and I'm a knight in the service of the Lord here. I greatly look forward to having you with us. Likewise, I'm looking forward to working with you. Ah, I can tell just from your hands you know your way around a battle. I've heard rumours about you. I hope you'll be able to do the honour of a bout at some point. Is that all you guys do? There's nothing but battle-obsessed freaks around here. Savages, the lot of you. I didn't let that line of thought get in the way of making a proper and polite greeting. Well then, Sir Van, I'd like to show you to her ladyship if I could. She is as always in the training yard, honing herself. I said my goodbyes to Balmung and followed the butler out of the training yard. Elizabeth was there in the yard practicing. Truly she had an aura of terrific beauty and ferocity. Well, she was standing still. Once she started moving, it all fell apart. Right, we'll just play this for a little bit longer. We're not getting towards any action, really. It's obviously all story orientated. You. She noticed me as I approached. There was something beautiful about her cool dignity. Why did you run yesterday? We weren't able to settle things between us. Well, shall we pick things back up? Your ladyship, I must inform you that Master Sieg will be taking a leave of absence. Sir Van, a former royal knight, has agreed to take his place in training you. That's ridiculous. Some coward who runs from battle is no way a match for Master Sieg. And furthermore, I don't recognise his strength at all. What happened yesterday's must have been some mistake, a tragic series of errors. Ava's prediction was dead on. They really went over the top building her self-confidence. My lady, if I defeat you in combat, would you be willing to recognise me as your tutor? Fine. You must think what happened yesterday was your own doing. Allow me to show you your error. The butler was glancing nervously at me. Yeah, I got it. Make it a close fight. The match between us began soon after. The same soldiers from the day before surrounded us, seemingly praying. We crossed swords, the angel went into her dance, and I followed along with her. Incredible. You live up to your reputation, your ladyship. Look at how gorgeous she is. I couldn't take my eyes off her. Your breath is getting ragged. Given up already? How am I supposed to act as if she is good? Don't stop going. Fight through it. Fight it. I'd hoped a royal knight would show me some grace, but I suppose before someone like me, this is all you can muster. Have you begun to realise what happened yesterday was one big coincidence? That's nothing to be ashamed of. There was glory merely in crossing swords with a powerful beauty and noble knight like myself. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to put everything I have into the next strike. I hope you're ready for this. If this goes any longer, I'm seriously going to mock her like crazy. Prepare to fight. Prepare to have your final attack turned right back on you by the ultimate technique. Breath of the Phantom Beast, Dragon Bloom Strike. A sword sailed through the air. Excellent work, the Table Lord. Starting tomorrow, you'll be able to openly enter the state and approach Elizabeth. Still, though, what a disaster that Dragon Bloom was. More an earthworm than a dragon. I'm sure that Sieg person regrets ever teaching her. I think Liz is just fine. Once you get used to it, her clumsiness is actually pretty cute. Since when was it Liz? Oh, Liz. Little Liz. I can't wait to start training you. Oh, more to the point, this Sieg guy collapsing, that wasn't your doing, was it? No, I had nothing to do with it. Just a happy coincidence. Frankly, having another party infiltrating could turn out to be convenient for us. In the event we have to act rashly, we can lay the blame on them. No, I had nothing to do with it. Just a happy coincidence. Frankly, having another party infiltrating could turn out to be convenient for us. In the event we have to do something rash, we can lay the blame on them. I had a chance to spend some time with her ladyship training her, and I wasn't going to have anyone screwing that up. I'll do my best to avoid any rash actions. That has always been my intent, but my lord, did you notice the fact that Balmung Man had been waiting outside the room? No, not at all, did you? Nor did I didn't notice a single sign of him, which makes me wonder if he was hiding his presence and listening to our conversation. Well, he seemed worried about the butler. It'd be strange if he wasn't at least a little suspicious of us. Indeed, you are a wolf in sheep's clothing after all, and I'm sure my lord has all sorts of training tactics in mind. All I ask is that you do a proper job of training her. What, do you think I'll do a poor job? I'm offended. Just wait and see how wrong you are. If you wish to win her over, you will need to engage with her a number of times. You think it'll be that easy? Just try not to make her hate you, my lord. Nice dodge here. I'll just have to work out my frustration from her rejections on her ladyship. Ate a demon nut this morning. Demon inside rose by 1, stamina completely restored. So that's our stamina. Okay. So we are now level 1. You can't see that under there, but it says level 1. Right, yeah. Let's just save over that. So it's a lot of reading. But you obviously got to build up relationships with everybody, and you've got to do the little quest there is. It's quite a good story though. It's okay if you're not going to have to read everything out loud. I like the artwork. It's nice artwork. It's a pity it doesn't go full screen, widescreen. Because some things feel a little squidged up, but yeah. I might come back to it later. Right, we are going to come out of there for now. It's been an hour. Again, this is just a quick first look. So that is the Demon Lord is New in Town resource management adventure game. Not really an RPG, but I don't know if you get this. Okay, so there is fighting. We never got to the fighting. It was just pure story and talking the whole time. But there is obviously fighting in it, which I would have liked to have gotten to. But it wasn't happening. Discovered a path to treasure. So there's quests and everything. Yeah. Like a lot of JRPGs and that, it takes a long time to actually get into it. There's always a lot of setting up in the storyline. Right, so that came out 25th of January 2022. Publisher is Kagura Games, so thank you again for the game key, much appreciated. I am going to get some more coffee, have a quick bio break, and then we shall move on to the next game we are doing a first look at, which is Kamikaze Committee Oka 2. We shall look for that for a little while. So, if you give me a couple of minutes, I shall be right back.